Hi, Abel.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening, Abel.
Hi.
So, how was your weekend?
Yeah, very good.
Okay, that's good to hear. Are you now ready for the class?
Yes.
Okay. So, is your book already open?
Yes.
Okay, so we will now continue with, let me see. Read this one. All of this first.
Mm,
You're not
wait,
yet
where?
you're not yet done with reading this part, correct?
Um, hmm? I think it's
Not
read.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. It's already done. I'm sorry. So I will give you 1 minute to review your answer and we will check, okay?
Okay.
While, I mean 2 minutes for me to
Okay.
paste the script as well.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, are you done?
Yes.
All right. Okay. So let me just All right. So read your answer. Read this word in context with your answers, okay?
Okay. Alex is excited about his new job with Parapure Rainwear. As quality control manager, his job is to make sure that his company's goods conform to standardized quality criteria and are free from defects. Before any garment leaves the factory, Alex must inspect it. He knows that if he throws out a damaged garment before a customer sees it, he will enhance his company's reputation and increase the demand for their products. Alex must ensure that all products meet certain criteria. A customer who buys a raincoat that does not repair rain will probably take back the raincoat to the store and buy another brand. The same is true if the seams are not sewed tightly or the color is not uniform. Alex knows that in addition to keeping out rain, the product must be attractive to look at and to touch. It should not wrinkle easily, and it should last a long time. Alex knows that it is important for customers to perceive his company's goods as quality products so that his company will profit and he can get a rise.
Okay. Raise.
A raise.
All right. Do you have questions, Abel?
No?
Okay. So perfect. Let us proceed with word family. So read all of this.
Okay. Defect verb. Disgusted by the poor quality of products at the factory, the employee defected to a plant that took pride in its work. Defect noun. Even a small defect can cause a product to fail. Defective adjective. Good quality control employees will notice defective machinery before a serious breakdown occurs. Inspect verb. We must inspect every product before we sell it. Inspection noun. Each employee must conduct a careful inspection. Inspector noun. The inspector leaves his identification number on the product to ensure accountability. Perceive verb. The worker perceived that the stitching on the seams could not withstand normal strain. Perception noun. Customers' perception of quality is often based on their experience with a given store or brand. Perceptive adjective. Perceptive workers are excellent quality control inspectors. Repel verb. A quality raincoat can repel rain and keep you dry. Repellent noun. Testing insect repellent is never a pleasant task. Repellent adjective. Testing strain removers can be repellent to workers because of the toxic fumes. Uniform noun. The employees at this company are required to wear uniforms. Uniform adjective. A successful company will ensure the uniform quality of its products. Uniformly adverb. All of our company's products must be uniformly labeled. Wrinkle verb. Line is not a practical fabric because it wrinkles easily. Wrinkle noun. Inspect garments carefully and remove any wrinkles that you find. Wrinkle adjective. Garments form wrinkled after they have been tried on several times at the store.
Okay. You say disgusted,
Disgusted,
defected,
defected,
based,
based,
toxic.
toxic.
Okay. So for listening comprehension, look at the picture and listen to the sentences. Choose the sentence that best describes the picture. So what's your answer?
C. She's inspected the products for defects.
Okay. Just so part 2, question and response. So listen to the question and 3 responses. Choose the response that best answers the questions. Which brand is better?
B. Most of our customers prefer this one.
Okay. And question number 3. Is this coat water repellent?
B. Yes, it will keep you very dry.
Okay, very good. So let us now move to part 3. So conversation. Listen to the dialogue, then read each question and choose the best answer. So what does the company do with garments that have defects?
D. It sells them at a discount.
Okay. How many of the garments end up with defects?
A. 15%.
Okay. So number 6. What type of garment does the company?
B. Skirts.
Okay. So B is the correct answer. So part 4, talk. Listen to the talk, then read each question and choose the best answers. Who is this talk directed at?
A. Store employees.
We'll see. We assure you that all our products go through strict quality control. So from the first line, it's directed at the customers. Okay?
Okay, okay, we should. Okay.
Who is this talk directed at? Who is this talk directed at? So from the first line, as you can see, as you will, if you will understand the statement, you will be able to think that they are, or what they are saying is directly pointing out with the customer's assurance. Okay? So they assure that
Okay.
their product, so they assure the customer that their product is going through a quality control. Okay?
Okay.
So all defective products are thrown out. So when is a product inspected?
B. Before it leaves the factory.
Okay. What can a customer do with a defective product?
Return it to the store.
Very good. Okay. So, reading. Incomplete sentence. Choose the word that best completes the sentence. Number 10.
Okay. Defect equipment on a new car is not only costly but also dangerous.
Defective equipment on a new car is not only costly. When you say defective, Abel,
Mm.
so when you say defective, it's something that is defective, has a fault in it, and does not work correctly. So that's defective. Okay? When you say defect, okay, so it's a physical condition in which something is wrong with a part of a thing or someone's body. So that's defect. Okay?
Mm. Defective.
Yes, some
Uh,
defective. So it means that it has a fault or a fault in it and does not work correctly. So as the statement says, defective equipment on a new car is not only costly but also dangerous. Why dangerous? Because if you will use a defective equipment, then it's too risky for you because you are not sure, okay, that um it will last forever. As mentioned that it's already defective. So it has a problem and it does not work correctly. Okay?
mm, okay.
All right. So number 11.
Rebecca is known as Inspector 321 among her quality control co-workers.
Okay. Number 12.
An employee who perceives his job as important performs better than one who wants only a paycheck.
Okay. Number 13.
Uh, and Agnes was repelled by the odor of the waterproofing.
Okay. Number 14.
Standardized products are uniform in appearance.
Okay. Number 15.
Sarah wants to return her dress to the store because it wrinkles too easily.
Okay. So let us proceed to part 6. Text completion, okay?
Okay.
So choose the word or phrase that best completes the sentence. So read this one with your with your answer, and I will correct it if there's a mistake. Okay?
Thank you for buying a Fresco product. Fresco is a top name in women's clothing, and the Fresco brand carries a reputation for excellence. Customer satisfaction is our top priority, and all Fresco garments carry the Fresco guarantee. All our products must conform to high standards. They are inspected by trained professionals before they leave the factory. If your purchase is defective in any way, you may take it back to the store for a complete refund.
Okay. Do you have questions before we proceed to reading comprehension?
No.
Okay. So for reading comprehension, please read this, and we will proceed with question and answer.
Okay. Dear customer service, I am writing to express my extreme dissatisfaction uh,
Dissat Dissatisfaction.
dissatisfaction with a recent purchase of a fresco garment. Last week, I went to our local department store to buy a gift for my wife. I chose a very handsome fresco raincoat and gave it to my wife on her birthday last Saturday. She was pleased with the gift and wear it yesterday because we had a big rainstorm. We were both surprised to find out that the raincoat is not water repellent at all. My wife returned from her work very wet. In addition, the fabric of the coat became wrinkled in the rain. I bought the fresco raincoat for my wife because fresco is one of her favorite braids. She already owns several fresco dresses, skirts, and blouses. We never expected to be disappointed by a fresco product. I took the raincoat back to the store this morning. The manager there said that he did not see any defects in the coat, but he offered me a different coat in exchange. Since I understand that Fresco guarantees a complete refund on all its products, I did not accept the manager's offer. I hope that Fresco will stand by its guarantee. I am returning the raincoat with this letter, together with the receipt from the department store, and hope to receive a complete refund before the end of the month. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
Okay.
Seriously.
So why did Mr. Jamison write this letter?
B. He is unhappy with his purchase.
Purchase.
No, purchase.
Very good.
His purchase.
So what Flasco product did Mr. Jamison buy?
D. A raincoat.
Okay. What happened when Mr. Jamison returned to the store?
C. He was offered a new coat.
Okay. And the word wrinkled in line 5 of the first paragraph is closest in meaning to
Creased.
Okay, very good. And the word brands in line 6 of the first paragraph is closest in meaning to
Names.
Okay. Do you have questions, Abel?
No.
Okay, kindly open Unit 29.
Okay.
So for Unit 29, so it's all about product development. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So kindly read the word bank. All right?
Okay. Anxious. As certain. Assume. Decade. Examine. Ex- experiment. Logical. Research. Responsibility. Solve. Supervisor. Systematically.
Systematically.
System. Mhm.
Okay, so kindly read all of this.
Okay. But it's systematically it's laced
Oh,
uh,
it's yes. So this should have an S. So systematically.
systematically. Okay.
So kindly read all of this, Abel.
Okay. Anxious adjective worried. The developers were anxious about the sales forecast for the new product. The graphic designers tried to be calm during their presentation, but you could tell they are anxious it would not be well received. Ascertain verb to discover, to find out for certain. A necessary part of product development is to ascertain whether the product is safe. A customer survey will help to ascertain whether there is a market for the product. Assume verb to take upon oneself, to believe to be true. The young man felt ready to assume the new responsibilities of his promotion. A company should assume nothing about the market but instead pay close attention to research results. Decade, now, a period of 10 years. After a decade for trying, the company finally developed a vastly superior product. Each decade seems to have its own fat products. Examine verb to interrogate, to scrutinize. Before marketing a new product, researchers must carefully examine it from every aspect. Good researchers have to examine every possible option, including some that seem bizarre. Experiment verb to try out a new procedure or idea. Noun a taste or trial. Product developers must conduct hundreds of experiments in their research. After designing a new product, researchers continue experimenting to determine whether it has other use. Logical adjective formally valid, using orderly reasoning. It is only logical for a research and development team to concentrate on one or two new products at a time. In addition to logical thinkers, a good research and development team should include a few dreamers. Research. Now, the act of collecting information about a particular subject. Part of the research the team does is to determine whether similar products are already on the market. For toy manufacturers, research can be pure fun. Responsibility, now a task. The product development department has a high responsibility to be sure that the product is safe, even if used improperly. Another responsibility of product development is to ensure that there will be a demand for the product. Solve, verb, to find a solution, explanation, or answer. Researchers find that every time they solve one problem, two more result. One of the biggest problems to solve is why people would want to own the new product. Supervisor, now, an administrator in charge. The department supervisor has to balance his department's responsibilities in order to keep the president satisfied with its progress. A good supervisor gets his team to work with him, not just for him. Systematically. Adverb. Methodically following a system. Once the creative development is completed, the department works systematically toward making the idea a reality. While creative thinking is necessary, analyzing a problem systematically is indispensable.
Indispensable.
uh, Indispensable.
Okay. So for the word in context, I will give you 2 minutes to review your answer and we will check.
Okay.
All right, Abel,
Yes.
let us check. So kindly read with your answers, okay?
Okay. Michael was worried about his promotion. He need he needn't have been anxious though. He had worked in the product development division 2.5 years. Almost a decade. Almost a decade. He knew the department inside out. Now, however, he would be the director. As a member of the department, he had only to do what his supervisor told him. As the director, he would be the person responsible for the success of his department. Failures are not always logical. In fact, they are often illogical. As his first task, he decided to conduct a systematic analysis of the steps required to develop new products and to organize the tasks into a logical order. The first step in developing new products would be to ascertain what kind of products the market needed and what problems exist with the products currently being used. The second task would be to find out how best to examine these problems and determine what kind of research would be needed to solve the problems. It would be better to say, re-examine these problems since most of these unsolved problems have been thoroughly researched over the years. The third task would be look at the quality and characteristics of the competition's products. By examining the competition's products, he would know where he should improve. And the final task would be to decide how to gather the most substantial information from the fewest number of experiments. Michael smiled and sat back to read over his list, confident that he had a good team and a good plan. He felt ready to assume his new job.
Okay. Thank you so much. Perfect. Okay. So kindly read the word family.
Okay. And anxiety. Now, the level of anxiety was
Anxiety.
oh, anxiety. The level of anxiety was high when the experimental car underwent road tests. Anxious. Adjective. If you feel anxious, sit down and try to relax. Anxiously. Adverb. The stockholders anxiously awaited the release of the new drug that, if successful, would make their stocks more valuable. Assume. Verb. Product developers should assume nothing that research does not support. Assumption. Now, most consumers make the assumption that unless they are warned otherwise. The products they buy are safe. Assumed adjective. The assumed results should be kept confidential until the product is retested. Experiment verb. The product developer had experimented with improving electronic equipment since she was in the sixth grade. Experimentation noun. High-tech companies are constantly involved in experimentation with new products in order to stay ahead of their competitors. Experimental adjective. The new computer was experimental, so you could try it at the store, but you couldn't buy one. Logic noun. Most problems can be easily solved by the application of logic. Logical adjective. It was logical to put Martha in charge of the project as she had spent so much time developing the idea. Logically, adverb. I thought Mr. Lee answered the question quite logically. Responsibility noun. Although the ultimate responsibility falls on the supervisor, every employee shared it. Responsible adjective. The researcher responsible for passing the defective product has joined the cafeteria workers' assembly line. Responsibly adverb. Product designer must act responsibly when they consider how a product may be misused. Supervise verb. It's important to carefully supervise the collection of research data to ensure its accuracy. Supervisor noun. George hopes to be promoted to supervisor of his department. Supervision noun. Many employees do better work when they are under less supervision.
Okay, so let us continue with um, listening comprehension.
Okay.
Okay, one moment. So, listening comprehension. Okay, let me just paste the script, okay?
Okay.
All right. Okay. So look at the picture and listen to the sentences. So choose the sentence that best describes the picture. So what's your answer for number one?
B. Please examine the contents of the test tube.
Okay. Very good. Oh, you're getting smarter each and every day, Abel. So, part two, question and response. Listen to the question and three responses. So, choose the response that best answers the questions. So, how long have you worked as a supervisor?
C. For almost a decade.
Okay. All right. And question number three. What kind of responsibilities does Jim have at his new job?
A. He
He,
supervised the entire department.
very good. Okay. So part three, conversation. Okay, one moment, Abel.
Okay.
Okay. So question number four, what does the woman want to do with the doll?
Examine it.
We'll see. Okay, let us read. We need to examine the data for our Binky doll sales before we decide how to modify it. Several companies have successfully experimented with modification, such as bright colors and noisemakers. Consumers today are anxious about inflation, so our next modification should be to make a doll or to make the doll cheaper. I think if we lower the price by 15%, we can increase sales by 30% or more. Maybe so, but you can't just assume those figures. You need to do some systematic price and sales research first. So the question is, what does the woman want to do with the doll? Yeah. Okay. So letter A. All right. How much does the woman think that sales will increase?
C. 30%.
Okay. And what does the man suggest that the woman do?
B. Research price and sales.
Okay. So let us now proceed with part 4 talk. So listen to the talk, then read each question and choose the best answer. So I want you to complete all your answers from number 7 down to number 23, and we will check right after, okay?
Okay.
All right.
And it continues to sell well. Researchers aren't sure of the reason for this. They have examined hundreds of pages of market data, but haven't ascertained an exact price or the wide availability. Perhaps it is the consumer's familiarity with it. Researchers don't know which factors are responsible, but consumers continue to buy the product as it enters its 22nd year on the market. In fact, it is the most popular product of its kind for teenagers, and far outsells similar products aimed at men, women, and children.
I'm finished.
Okay. So why is the product popular?
D. Nobody is sure of the reason.
Very good. How long has the product been on the market?
C. More than 20 years.
Okay. And who buys the product?
B. Teenagers.
Teenagers.
Oh, teenagers.
Okay. And since we don't have enough time to finish this one, Abel, we will continue checking your answers on our next class, okay?